And now to Nairobi, where the 19th East African Safari has just ended. As one of the biggest events in the motoring year, the Safari always draws a strong international field. This year was no exception, with more than 100 entries from over a dozen countries. This year, the main challenge came once again from Japan. Datsun won the team prize in 1969 and 1970 and were hoping to make it a hat trick. The Datsun team effort was small. They entered the minimum number of 3, compared with 4 from Peugeot and 5 from Ford. But the Japanese cars are now a favourite choice for private entrants, and this year 1 car in every 3 was a Datsun. Until Datsun arrived on the scene, the Safari was a strictly European affair, with the team prize going to either Peugeot, Volkswagen or Ford of England. The record for the outright winners was very much the same. Their recent successes in the Safari have enabled the Japanese to establish fairly rapidly a reputation for speed and reliability. But the achievement has been neither cheap nor easy. The Safari is generally considered to be the most testing of all the rallies. A car has to be incredibly tough even to finish. In its 18 years of existence, the Safari has developed into one of East Africa's major sporting events. This year's starting ceremony was performed by no less a personality than His Excellency Jomo Kenyatta, the President of Kenya. Official enthusiasm for the Safari is not entirely based on its sporting significance. As an international event, it's also a valuable boost for East African tourism. The rally's in 2 stages. The southern leg runs through Mombasa and Dar es Salaam and back to the Kenyan capital. Then the cars move north and west into Uganda and back again to Nairobi. In all, a journey of 3,800 miles. Driving any car nearly 4,000 miles in 4 days on poor roads is bad enough, but the driver's task is sometimes made even worse by the wrath of the native population, some of whom strongly object to the sudden intrusion of scores of wailing and screaming cars thundering through their backyards. Although the villagers here were welcoming enough, others have been known to throw rocks at windscreens and lay sharpened stakes in the road to puncture tires. Local opposition in Tanzania was so intense that the rally was actually banned there a few years ago. Another hazard is the unpredictable behavior of wild animals in the bush. Most of them are not normally dangerous if left alone, but a startled animal can suddenly attack, and vehicles have been charged by rhino and elephant on a number of occasions. The rally passes through some of the best wildlife country in Africa, but the word safari in its title is purely for effect. The drivers have no time to look at the animals. The only time they're likely to give them more than a cursory glance is when they get in the way of their cars. In the 18 years the rally's been going, no driver from outside East Africa has ever won the event. The regular teams, including world-famous drivers who won every other kind of rally, have done well, but every year knowledge of local conditions, such as the weather and how to cope with it, has proved a crucial factor in the success of local men. The weather can be atrocious, ranging from intense heat and dust storms to torrential rain which can transform these dirt roads into quagmires and bog the cars down in axle-high mud. Temperatures vary between 40 degrees centigrade on the coast to almost freezing point on the 9,000-foot mountain slopes. 3 years ago, conditions were so bad that only 7 cars finished out of 91 starters, and only once since the rally began has a majority of entrants completed the course. In this year's rally, one of the most demanding sections on the southern leg was this stretch through the Machakos Hills, a range of rugged highlands south of Nairobi. At this stage, a Porsche, driven by Swede Bjorn Voltegard, was in the lead, followed by a Ford Escort, driven by Hanna Mikkola of Finland. With the weather generally good this year, it was thought that the Europeans might at last be able to break the local drivers' monopoly of success. As the rally neared the halfway stage, the belief seemed well-founded. Only 2 local teams were among the first 10 cars. All the cars have to be superbly well prepared to withstand high-speed driving on roads like these. There are fewer than 400 miles of surfaced roads in the whole 4,000-mile course. The drivers have to take their cars to the limit and often beyond it. This Peugeot, driven by Robert Shankland, is travelling at close to 100 miles an hour on what is little more than a dirt track. Shankland eventually finished third. As the rally entered its second stage and a reduced field of 43 cars moved north into Uganda, the familiar pattern began to emerge. Local drivers moved up into the leading places. The first 3 places were now held by the Japanese Datsuns. At the controls of 2 of them were Edgar Herman of Kenya and Shekta Mehta of Uganda. The secret of the Japanese success was the superb servicing operation mounted by Nissan's mechanics. The service cars were always in the right place at the right time, and the drivers got to the servicing points with enough time to spare for the mechanics to do a thorough job on the cars. In the end, only 3 overseas crews made the first 10. Sobislav Zasada of Poland was 5th in a Porsche, followed by Rano Aaltonen of Finland in a Datsun, with Harry Kallstrom of Sweden driving a Lancia Fulvia taking 7th place. Five days of breakneck driving took a heavy toll. Of the 110 cars which set out, only 32 cars survived for the final entry into Nairobi. The best survival rate was achieved by the French Peugeots, with 9 cars back out of 14 starters. Works-entered Peugeots finished 10th, 11th and 12th to qualify for 2nd place in the team trophy. 3rd place was taken by Ford. All the top honours in the event went to Datsun, whose 3 works cars came in 1st, 2nd and 6th, thus carrying off the team prize for the 3rd year in succession. It was a repeat success too for the drivers of the winning car, Edgar Herman, a Bavarian who now runs a hotel in Kenya, and Hans Schuller from Stuttgart. They were first over the line last year, also in a Datsun, and their victory maintained the remarkable record of success of local drivers in the toughest rally in the world.